let's talk draft though. So we've seen what the Niners are doing in free agency.
Yeah.
Power move left and right. Farrell, use check. They're like the Bash brothers. I mean, this is the McGuire and Canseco of additions. So what do you think they should do in the draft now? How does that sort of affect what they're looking for in the first few rounds?
Defensive line, offensive line. It's a must. Like an edge. I think that it's a must. Maybe linebacker too.
Yeah, I did a mock yesterday. Well, I was at work and I went 4 out of the 11 picks. I went 4 tackles, defensive tackles, 3 edges, a wide receiver, a tight end, and a running back. I think is what I went.
Do you guys think we're gonna draft? Like, did you say linebacker?
No. Or it
So
wasn't
do
a
you guys-
tight end. It wasn't. It was a tackle.
Do you guys believe in D. Winters?
I think D. Winters is good, but the sleeper pick is Curtis Robinson. This guy
That
was
too.
before that injury. This guy was a stud. Like I
Yeah, he
actually
was.
thought he could start next to Fred Warner. If he comes back anything like that, he's gonna shock a bunch of Niner fans, and they're not gonna be pouting over Dre Greenlaw. And I love Dre Greenlaw. He's a stud. One of my favorite players of all time to watch. Reminds me of the Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman days.
So you're saying Curtis Robinson's like Drake?
Curtis Robinson, he's going to look great this year. As long as he can stay healthy, I think he's going to shock a bunch of Niner fans, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, Nick, this draft, now it's purely offensive line, defensive line. Like it's a must. I don't care trading back edges, that whole just defensive line, offensive line. That's the biggest thing we have to worry about. It's like,
yeah,
biggest thing, and maybe draft a kicker. Shout out, Grant.
Yeah, I would love to see them look into trading back though to like 15 and get Walter Nolan or Kenneth Grant and try and snag a second or third out of it.
Mason Graham falls to.
I got a question for you guys.
Hit me.
When it comes to offensive tackle in particular, it's such a difficult position to draft.
Yes.
And I feel like the Niners' philosophy is like, look, if we can draft Trent Williams or freaking if we can draft Trent Williams, we're interested. Otherwise, we're not taking the position at all. Maybe we'll touch it in round 5 because we have such high standards. Which is such a weird thing that you have such high standards that your starter is Colton McKivitz. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, why is Kelvin Banks not the pick? He's probably going to be there at 11. If he's there at 11, I know some people are down on him. 6'5", 33.5-inch arms. Why is he not the pick? Tell me.
Grant, there's I don't know if I think it was like a mock draft. They had Will Campbell falling to 13. So Will Campbell's there or Kelvin? Who do you want?
His 32-inch arms do scare me. That's a I don't know how you guys feel about that. That's kind of scary.
It does not scare me.
No.
Tell me why.
If he's good at blocking, who cares?
Off the top of my head, I forgot the names, but he is the same. I'm pretty sure him and Trent actually have the same inch arms. Like
I'll look
that.
at it.
And yeah, he has the same inch arms as 2 All-Pros. I forgot their names off the top of my head, but I think Trent's one of them. But how he moves, because he moves so well, that the short arms don't bother me. Like he bullied SEC like ends and tackles. Like he bullied them.
So he has 2-inch. His Trent's hands are 34. Will Campbell's 32. Arms. Yeah, no. Yeah, arms. I mean.
Yeah, 32 is a little. It's going to be tough for him in pass protection against some of these edge rushers who have long arms. But as a run blocker, he should be great.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I like him. I'm kind of one of the guys that's like I'm not down on Kelvin Banks, but Maj likes him more than me.
What do you not like about him?
I would rather them go Walter Nolan over Kelvin Banks. He doesn't move very well. Like he's
okay.
He moves okay and good enough to where he could be a good player. I'm not saying he can't. I just don't think he moves good enough to where you replace Trent Williams with him.
Yeah, he's not like a great athlete. He's like a solid athlete.
Yeah. He's just like he's just an average. Like Membu's a better athlete. I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
I think Kelvin Banks has good footwork. I think he's fast.
He has good footwork. He's just not athletic like.
Yeah, you're in the 515, which is okay.
Yeah.
All of his testing numbers were like okay.
The one thing I'm scared about
that worries me.
The one thing thing I'm scared about with Kelvin Banks is he's kind of injury prone. Like he's not injury prone, but like I remember watching Texas games. This guy like every 3 games he'd be down holding his knee. So I'm kind of scared about that too.
Yeah.
I got a name for you guys at offensive tackle. If they're not going to go offensive tackle round 1 and they're going to try to draft a guy late to be a swing tackle and maybe with some traits to possibly develop into a starter, have you guys heard of Holland Pierce?
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. Yeah, he's a stud.
6'8", 340 pounds, like 30.
That's a massive human being.
I mean, it's kind of what the Eagles did with Jordan Mailata. Just take a dude with traits. I mean, Trent Brown, once upon a time, was that dude.
There's another guy out of Oregon State too. He has like 2 last names, so you don't like him, Grant, already. But,
I hate him off my board right now.
His last name's like Lichtenhahn, and he's 6'9". He would be the tallest.
Gerard Christian Lichtenhahn. Yeah,
yes,
6'8".
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
interesting.
He's huge.
Good pull.
Yeah, that's another one. But Holland Pierce is a stud. I do like that. And if you can get him in the 5th, 6th round, that it would be an absolute steal.
Only thing is, like, it seems like this year there's a lot of depth on the D-line in the draft. That you could get a good edge rusher in round 2 or 3 and a good D tackle in round 2 or 3. You don't necessarily have to go D-line in round 1, although that could be the way to go since it's a need and there could be the best. It could be the best player available.
You can. I just think the edges and tackles, like defensive tackles in 1st and 2nd round, those are going to be like difference makers. Like you could find a guy that's like
aren't they rumored to be interested in the edge from UCLA who's going to be there in round 3?
Oladejo.
Yeah. You like him? So that's he's projected to go in round 3, although maybe that's old news.
No, that's new news. He was originally projected like 5th or 6th. Now he's moving up to 3rd, and he's an athletic beast. I love him. I love how he moves. He has good pass rush moves already, and if he could learn from Bosa, he would be a stud. I really think he'd be really good.
Nick, would you want the Niners to trade back and draft Gray Zabel from North Dakota?
Dude, I've said this
in round 1?
No, you're drafting. If you could draft Gray Zabel early round 2,
it's got to be someone who can play.
No. I understand that, but Gray Zabel.
Dude, Gray Zabel played 4 out of 5 positions at North Dakota State. Grant.
He played quarterback in middle school.
Did he really?
He did. He said that at the combine. Yeah, he did.
Nick, he's going up in the draft boards. Nick, I saw a mock draft. Gray Zabel went 23rd.
Nah,
he is not going to the second round.
I think he's going to go in the 40s.
Hold on. So if they go edge in round 3 with Oladejo, round 2 they could go D tackle. Whoever is there a D like Tyleek Williams or Alfred Collins? Is there someone you like there?
Alfred Collins.
Collins is good. There's I also
would Derek Harmon last that long?
I don't, dude. I would love Harmon in the second round. I also don't know when the tackle from Indiana, CJ West, dude. I think they're gonna get him. I really do think the Niners are gonna target him. I don't know if he's gonna be like a 3rd or 4th, but man, is he good. Also around that time, Jordan Phillips, I think is his name.
I got him at 96 right now on draft tag.
He's good.
Climbing quickly. So what do you know about CJ West? They could get him with their comp pick in round 3.
Yeah, he moves and he can hold 2 gaps. He moves so well and so fluid. And dude, if you watch Indiana's tape against even when they were in the college football playoff, if he goes off the field for a play, you're like, yeah, he's off the field because they just get that line just gets dominated. But when he's on the field,
he ran a 4.95 at 316 pounds. Okay,
dude, when he's on the field, he just dominates. Like you're not running the ball at him. You're just not.
Is there any chance Membu falls to us or no?
Yeah, I think it's pretty high, but I the same chance that he falls to us is the same chance I think he's getting taken at 4.
I don't know. I think people
think the Niners can trade up.
No, absolutely not. I think Jed would have a gun.
You could take 11 and Ayuk.
No,
Grant, but I think in this draft, it's kind of
Carolina. You want Ayuk?
It's not a trading. It's not a trading up draft. Like you don't trade up in this draft. Like you're getting the same player at 15 at 32. Like this draft is so deep.
And pick 11's a great spot.
Exactly.
Okay, so hold on. I'm working backwards. We just got 2 D linemen picked in round 3. Oladejo and CJ West. I like those. Yeah. Now, do the Niners need to take 2 defensive tackles in the first 3 rounds? Or are they going to start Jordan Elliott?
I think they have to take an edge.
Have to take an edge in addition to Oladejo.
Oladejo's an edge, no?
I mean,
he's a converted edge.
Oladejo's an edge. Yeah, but if you don't, I mean, he played like so many positions. The guy's moved like 4 different positions in college. But if you don't take an edge in the first 2 rounds, Grant, then you're banking on a team not falling in love with him and getting
hoping that Oladejo's there.
Up. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's the only thing that worries me about that. And I do think the edges from Oladejo on, like round 3, round 4 on, it's a pretty. There's a gap. I'll say.
I like Landon Jackson in round 2.
I do like Landon Jackson.
I like Landon Jackson in round 2. He's big. He's got a great motor.
Yeah.
Good against the run.
What about that Hussein guy out of Boise State? He's from Egypt.
Oh, I don't know him as well.
I saw him at the combine. Was he the guy that was getting hyped with the guy?
Yeah,
I saw him too. I don't know much about him, but his energy seems sick. I like him.
Yeah, I think he's got potential. But okay. So Grant, what's your question? So if assuming we take it Oladejo in round,
if the Niners can somehow like take care of their 2 D-line picks in round 3, what do they do in round? What could they do in round 1? Would they take Jihad Campbell or Jalen Walker in round 1, like a linebacker in round 1? Would they go?
I would love to see them take Will Campbell and make sure Jason Pinnock never steps foot on a.
Oh, it's like that. Talk about Jason Pinnock for a second.
Yeah, he's awful. Okay.
Wow.
This is how you know he's bad though, Grant. Is because last year when the Niners needed help at the cornerback spot, right? And or was it last year? Or was it the year before? They were talking to a bunch of teams, okay? And one of the teams they were talking to was the Giants, and they almost made a trade right before the deadline. I don't know if you remember this. It was 5 minutes before the deadline. They were on the phone and they had the trade in place, but they didn't get it through to the NFL in time, so the trade didn't go through. And it was for Adoree Jackson, okay? And Adoree Jackson just went to Philly for a cheap contract. So if you could get Adoree Jackson, who you wanted to trade for in the get-go, and you're going to settle with his worst, like the worst corner in Pinnock, like this is Isaiah Oliver all over again. I don't ever want to see this man on the field.
Oof.
Ever.
Isaiah Oliver, don't diss him. He was so amazing.
Well, then maybe they should take a safety in round 1 or 2.
Makuba.
Yeah, Makuba would be sick, but
Makuba.
Yeah.
Who's the safety who just destroyed the combine?
Makuba
what's his name?
Combine. Manuwari.
Is that guy
from South Carolina? Yeah.
South Carolina? Yeah.
Yeah, Nick.
That guy was
Nick Manwari.
Yeah. He's a freak.
Give me Makuba.
He's a freak, but I like Makuba. If you're gonna go later in the draft, I like Alabama safety Malachi Moore, I think is his name. I like him.
Do you think the Niners will take a running back in the first 3 rounds?
Well,
no.
This is funny because
you don't.
No, it's too deep. It's too deep. If you get Ollie Gordon in the 4th or 5th round, what the hell are you doing taking a running back? Okay. Let me pause.
Yep.
If you can get Travion Henderson or Judkins in the 3rd round,
Cam Scatterbo,
you run that card up to the table.
Okay.
Even Scatterbo I'd take, but Judkins.
What about Caleb Johnson?
He's good. He's really good, man.
See, I think Kyle's going to take one of those guys in round 3.
Do you guys think?
Here's. Let me tell you why I think Kyle's going to do it.
Okay.
Jordan Mason's good, but he hasn't proven he can carry the load over a long period of time in college or the pros. Same with Isaac Guerrero. Yeah. So if McCaffrey goes down, you're in a very precarious spot, just like last year, where you don't have someone who can carry a run first team.
I mean, neither has Grando, I guess, to that exact point.
Neither has Grando. And as much as I like Jordan Mason, he's never been that guy. Not even in Georgia Tech.
Do you guys think
always
we're going to draft Cam
Yeah.
Scatterbo? Like, because Cam Scatterbo, he's supposed to like. Grant, we talked about it before. Like, he could come in and be a fullback since Juice is gone.
Dude, yeah.
I saw him in person. He's a running back. He's 5'9". But
yeah,
I could see Kyle liking him. I mean,
he's sick, bro. People got to stop disrespecting
He's
him,
a good player. He's a good player. And he has the high
so
usage. He could carry the offense. You know, if freaking McCaffrey goes down, he could do it.
I just think there's so many good players late. Like you could get
Agreed.
like and I mean, like I said, if Henderson or Judkins fall to your pick, like you better take him in round 3. You really better do it. But I mean, even Caleb Johnson, right? But I just think like Kyle Monangi out of Rutgers is an absolute stud. You have I even like I think his name's Woody Marks, the USC running back. Like that guy can catch the ball like no tomorrow. He's quick. Gives you something you don't necessarily really have, the quickness.
Kyle Monangi.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Yeah. But Ollie Gordon, like there's so many good players. Taj Brooks out of Texas Tech. Like there's just
like Bucky Irving went round 4 last year.
Yeah, man, he's good. He's good.
Yeah. You don't have to, but it's Kyle we're talking about here. So
yeah,
sorry.
I don't think the Niners are going to draft someone. I don't think the Niners are going to draft a running back like in the first 3 rounds. I think it's going to be late. Like it's.
What about a tight end? Are they going to get a tight end now that they've brought back Juszczyk and Farrell?
So.
Please, Gunnar Helm. Give me Gunnar Helm. I'm joking.
I do not want Gunnar Helm.
I'm joking.
Colson Loveland at 11.
Hell no. Nah, dude,
at 11.
Who do you like better, Loveland or Warren?
I like Loveland more.
Why?
And I would say, dude, I was just watching his tape yesterday too again, but he just moves so smooth. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like he moves like he when he lines up, he looks like a receiver and he moves like a receiver. He doesn't look like a tight end. Like
Nick, would you draft him?
And Warren's good. Yeah.
Would you draft him 22nd? Like 22nd, we trade back. You want to draft him?
Yes.
You want to draft a tight end first round? After everything that just happened, I understand, but we don't need a tight end. We do not. I understand Colson Loveland's
Let him answer.
Okay.
You're saying we don't need a tight end. We barely even have a wide receiver room. Can you imagine lining up Kittle on the end and then flexing out Colson Loveland
with Juszczyk on the field too?
That's great. But
if I hear that name one more time in this podcast, that would be so hard to stop, though.
Nick, but we don't have an offensive line. We still don't have an offensive line.
But if you trade back to 22, you're picking up another second-round pick. Now you have 2 second-round pick, 2/3.
Sure, I don't know. I'd rather just draft
if you can't put together an offensive line at that point, you are horrible at drafting.
I'm horrible at drafting.
Sure.
No.
Daniel Edelman says D-line plus linebacker fixed in draft. Green's better than Ward. Mustafa's better than Hufanga. Offense improved. All caps. Debo was liability. Barch plus Pooney better than Banks. And SPC special teams is vastly improved. Boom.
I hope so.
Plus Juszczyk. Plus Juszczyk. You didn't even mention their biggest move of the offseason, Daniel. Niner Gang says if the quarterback's not worth 2 top 5 money, you don't pay him.
Exactly.
I agree
something
with to that.
If he's not
There's something to that. Although
so then you have
counterpoint is Jalen Hurts. But
yeah, that's a good point. And then you have 27 teams in a constant rebuild searching for a quarterback?
Hell yeah. That's the world I want to live in.
Yeah. A top 5 pick in a draft would go for 7 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point.
Jed better not let Kyle choose any top picks, says Ethan
Probably.
M.
Probably will.
Who's picking the players in free agency?
Yeah.
Anyway. Bold prediction for the pick at 11 before we get out of here.
Bold prediction.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Colson Love. Nick, just say
it's not going to be.
Not who you would take, but who do you think is going to end up being?
I would hate this just because character, but it's Mike Green. No, not James Pierce. Yeah, Mike Green. I could see them doing it.
But it's not character.
They're not going to take Mike Green. They're not going to take Mike Green.
Dude,
no way.
I've seen some rumors, man, and I don't want
because they coached him at the Senior Bowl?
I mean, that and like we had a meeting with him also.
Nick, is it character issues? It's not character issues. It
is. That's great. At the combine, that
Google
was the
it.
Question
Google it.
Yeah.
Google 2 accusations is bad. He didn't get in trouble, but I just don't think the Niners want to answer those questions at that press conference. I don't think they want all the people.
And can you imagine he's a bust on top of it?
It's not going to happen. I would think James Pierce is more likely.
Yes.
Although I don't know what his quote unquote issues are. They could be worse. I don't know what
I think no chance. There's no chance you're drafting him at 11 when you could trade back to 28 and get him.
Okay.
Don't let him fall to the Eagles.
Yeah.
So we're talking Kelvin Banks. Will Campbell. It might be Will Campbell, man. With those 32-inch arms, he just might follow the Niners.
I think Membu's going to go top 10, and I think Will Campbell, and I could see Mason Graham fall. Both of them.
Yep.
And then
a couple of short arm T-Rexes. Niners can take their pick.
Yeah, in that case, you have a pick between 4 or 5 people. Like you could go Will Johnson, Kenneth Grant, even Walter Nolan. Like you have a plethora of people you could pick from. How could you screw that up?
Yeah, and like if you don't reach too much, you can tell yourself you're getting the 9th best player in the draft because I'm sure the Niners don't have Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. It's possible those guys aren't in their top 10.
Well, they should be.
Right? So unless they could say, well, those 2 guys are going to go high. So we're technically getting the 9th best player on our board. You got to be true to that.
Yeah. I guess also the best hope is that Shador does fall to 11 because if he does, there's going to be teams that'll trade up and pay a hefty price.
Okay, I thought you were just about to say draft Shador. I was like, there's
no.
Anthony Garcia says in the last 5 drafts, outside of Pooney and Banks, the O-line picks have been garbage. It's hopeful to think they'll draft right this one.
We have pick 11. Please just draft.
But how many offensive linemen have they picked?
Exactly.
Well,
not much.
Like, they took McGlinchey with the 9th pick. That's not who you want at pick 9.
For sure. But outside of that, it's like they've drafted Banks and Ben Barch.
True. They took Kinlaw over Wirfs.
Yeah, but they really haven't even drafted any offensive linemen. They've had like 5 picks of offensive linemen in their entire team.
Yeah. They got the Burford, Moore, McKivitz. They do okay in round 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even Barch was 6 or 7.
Yeah. So they're probably going to take an offensive tackle in round 5.